Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Back2Warcraft Podcast once again. It's Friday night, and that means a new episode is released. This is, I think, episode 30. 29 wasn't as great, was it? It was just me alone. Very sad development. So I thought I will cheer you up for a little bit. And the 30 is, of course, a big number. And for that, I got a big man by my side to have a wonderful conversation once again. We promised you a follow-up. And of course, you're gonna get a follow-up. We got the W3 Champions and GYM Community leader, Floss, by our side once again. Flossy, how you doing?
What a pleasure. Thanks as always for having me here. What an honor to be here for Dirty 30.
Dirty 30. Let's see how dirty you can make this. What's up in Floss world recently? I mean, we talked 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago or something. Any developments?
Well, in real life, it's good and bad. It's a judicial conference, so I don't actually have to go into court, which feels really good, except that, I told you I was on a juvenile rotation. Maybe I didn't, but one of my kids the cops stormed his house and he got picked up. So I have to go do his secure custody hearing tomorrow, which I'm sad about because I really like that kid. So, personally things are good, but it's always tough for my clients. Sorry to start off like that, but that's I just found out about it.
Here I am talking about I'm going to cheer you up and boom, one of your kids is in jail.
Dummy. Sorry. We can talk about happy things.
Okay. What was the last time or the last thing that you were really happy about? What made you happy recently?
Well, I remember last time I came on, I was so pumped that I made it over like a 51st percentile player. Like I was finally a good player, but I have since dropped below 50th percentile.
Dude, good news, not bad news.
Well, I made it into the playoffs for Fountain of Manor Group I playoffs. Woo! Yeah. And I'm playing a Night Elf in my first round. I feel pretty okay in my Night Elf matchup, so we're good there.
Okay, that's the spirit, Floss. That's the spirit. How's Fountains of Mana going? I haven't seen too much rambling about it recently, so that means that things are not going too bad, I guess.
Yeah. No, it's great. There are A through I. There's like a bunch of playoffs are coming up this week. They just got scheduled. I think for the most part, the regular season went well. Not too many hiccups, which is why I didn't hear anything. But Pokey, so it's Pokey, Jedi, Grinchy, and Jedi Wantu that do it. And Pokey just recently did like a playoff preview, so it was fun to watch that. I didn't care about any group besides mine, so I can't tell you about what's going on in the other groups.
Once you're egocentric. Damn. That's the player in you, the competitor in you coming out.
Yeah, well, I mean, I only have a limited amount of time to consume Warcraft 3, so it's like whatever human is playing on Back2Warcraft or whatever match I have to prepare for is like, that's all I can really consume. Dude, about the real game. I
turned into the biggest human player fan probably of all time. Did you hear about Todd's bet that's going on?
No, oh man.
You
Tell
don't?
Me. I need to know.
Okay, so when the European circuit started for DreamHack, he said, well, if a human makes it to the final, and he excluded Americas because, that wouldn't be a surprise with Cruncher always in the finals. So if a human player in Europe or Asia makes it to the grand final of DreamHack Winter, he's gonna dress up as a jester.
How have I not heard that?
Dude, it's gonna be so good. I saw the costume already. It has to be released to the world. Like, there's no way this is not gonna happen. So unfortunately in Europe, Hawk and Johnny Cage disappointed us and didn't make it to the final. We had the Happy Foggy thing going on once again, which was
apparently the most amazing match possible, though.
Epic. Again, just like in fall, truly epic grand final with Happy popping off at the end was just glorious. But we got Chamiko and Fortitude left in the Asia circuit, so this Saturday and Sunday Chamiko has to do it, man. He's the one true hope.
Love his replays. I probably consume his replays and Sock the most when I watch replays, because again, I'm lazy with actually getting better at this game. But
do you actually consume replays or VODs?
If I'm at work during lunch, I'll go to your YouTube because I can't watch replays because no Warcraft 3.
Yeah.
But if I like want to learn, which again is rare, it's all replays more so than VODs.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. For learning, that's understandable. But for the general consumption, I guess replays. there's always a big and loud demand on it, but I don't really see the numbers, like on War3 Info, they have a great replay archive, I want to say, but it's so rare that a single replay gets above 100. It's even rarer that a replay gets above 200. Like, I think the last one was this epic X-Lord vs. Grubby replay with a golden star that was level 876 or something. So I don't know. You probably get the question War3Champions a lot, right? Like
all the time.
Yeah,
all the time.
Is there a way to publish replays, etc., etc.? For the players, of course, it's great, but from a consumer standpoint, I think replays aren't that important.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that you're probably right, because I probably consume replays more than the average person. I don't even do it that much. But but replays do get watched, but I think it's just a small segment of the population that does it. I mean, people in gym, they're constantly looking at replays, but it's not pro replays. It's more their own replays that we look over.
Yeah, I can see that, especially when it's your own replays, right?
Yeah. But to me, like a Qbert, a Jack replay, that basically is a pro replay. And in ways, it's almost better for me than a 2400 level human.
And then the question is, if Qbert would do commentary on his own replays to explain his thinking, would you rather watch that than the replay? Because you have the commentary already on and his explanations on, and he'll probably focus with the camera on what he's doing anyway.
Yeah, so it's yes, and when I do view replays, I almost never do it by myself. I grab someone in gym who's good and say, can we look over this replay? And then I also say, hey, share your Discord screen. I want to watch it from your perspective. Like, just so lazy, just make them do all the work for me. So I don't do any thinking. I just like get knowledge injected into my brain. But I actually think there would be a market for that if people would just... Kaiser does replay. God damn it. We shouted out Kaiser again. But people, I'm sorry. He needs to come on the show. But he goes up and does replay reviews, and that gets pretty good views for him. People should do that more.
For sure. But speaking of Kaiser, while we're on the topic, I was a little angry with him yesterday because
tell me.
we announced Hitman and Todd for the War3 Champions finals, and you were involved in the previous episodes of the War3 Champions finals. Hitman always refused to play, right?
Yeah. I'm so glad you brought this up.
Since it turned global, he refused to play, and we finally got him back for the first time in I think 3 seasons, maybe 4. And so I thought, this is going to be a big announcement. This is going to be a banger. Social media will talk about it. Discords will talk about it. So it was, I think, 4 p.m. my time. I scheduled the release, and then I saw like 3 orc emotes in Gym Discord, and then Kaiser is the freaking one that switched the topic to these hot tub streamers again. It's like, Kaiser, for real, dude? We finally got this big, and we finally got the Hitman back in a global competition, and all you rave about is Amaranth.
Yeah, that dude got no sense of timing. No sense of timing.
It's true. So for once, negative shout out or call out, I guess, to Kaiser.
It's a big deal. And also you mentioned emotes. His Hitman emote that we provided for him is my absolute favorite emote that there is. It probably, if anyone knew about it, like that cared, we might get in trouble, but it's a Blade Master smoking a blunt. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, it is.
But can we talk about Hitman joining? Because I am quite curious to talk about it, because as you said, you were very like statesman-like about it, but he refused us so many times, and I'm going to be polite. Like, I don't need to be mean, but he was like pretty rude to us about it. So I'm curious if you like, is he joining because we got the ping to a good spot, which we always told him we would? I understand that his max ping for Americas is 125, but really in actuality, it's more like 100 would be the max he would play. He'd only get 120 on Russia East. So and he doesn't complain now. So I assume his ping's pretty good. So is that the reason, or is it because y'all took over and he's like, fuck W3C admins, which he said 100 times. So now it's like joining is actually a little bit of a fuck you to W3C admin. I don't know, because I had to place him on mute because he's so mean.
So. Yeah, I saw your discussions in the Discord. It went back and forth quite a bit, and I guess you Hitman and the W3Champions team, they don't like each other too much. But I'm super hands-on when it comes to the finals. I have my saying in pretty much everything and delegate a lot, of course. But for the Hitman thing, how it went was basically I told Carson, now that we're the organizers, we have to get Hitman on. And Carson went and said, okay, I'm going to try. And then he said, I don't know. We're still talking. I said, Carson, you have one job except casting and doing theorycraft. And that is to get Hitman on. Whatever it takes, I don't care. Get Hitman on. And 2 days later, he said, okay, confirmed Hitman's playing.
That's great. Oh, I'm happy. So I don't get the drama. I am actually truly happy that he's playing. I am a Hitman fan, despite how mean he is to us. And it's a big deal to have him on. So it's great. It's really, really exciting.
Yeah, made it a little harder for us to come up with playing conditions because he's of course the only player from US West, and then that's a different case you have to cover. But man, it's so great to have him there. I think since this is coming out after all players are released, it's a little sad we don't have Happy this season. He was not okay with what we did, because in the previous finals, we basically had the same rule set as it is on ladder, roughly, I would say, when it comes to servers. And there was always a little bit favored towards Europe and the CIS region. And our big goal was to make it as fair as possible for as many players as possible. So that means that some of the Russians and the European players have to play on servers that they are not 100% comfortable with, where they might have a higher ping than normal. And Happy said, okay, man, if that's the conditions, that's not really for me. It was a super polite conversation. It was super interesting to hear his thoughts on the matter, of course. There's no grudges or anything. It was just, no, that's not my conditions. Sorry, I'm gonna pass. But man, would I have loved to see Happy versus Hitman on the finals. Maybe season 10.
So a couple things of that. So I mentioned this in Discord, but I'll say it here too. I find it very interesting that he gets a bad rep for being disagreeable, because I don't find him to be disagreeable at all.
No.
He knows exactly what he wants.
Yeah.
And he's, I guess you could say he's uncompromising with that, but that's fine. So it wasn't the conditions that he wanted, and he passed. Like, I appreciate his predictability. I've always had very easy conversations speaking with him, as long as you're clear about what you want.
Yeah.
And he's clear about what he wants. And as far as so I'm of two minds with him not being in the tournament. Like, yes, it's best to have the best players, and it's sad that he's not there, and it'd be cool to see Happy versus Hitman. But you have to think he's like the overwhelming favorite, right? So it adds a element of hype. So, it's not the worst thing that he's not showing up.
Yeah, it might be better for the competition in general, but the last finals were super close too, with a 3-2 against Focus in the finals, with with Hawk beating him in the winner bracket, Happy in the lower bracket.
How hype when Hawk beat Happy in the lower bracket. Oh, I walked around with a smile on my face for like 6 days just because of that. And it's like a 2-1 victory. It's so cool.
Yeah, so it's definitely sad to not have Happy there. For the early round, it's, I think, pretty good. But to make up for that, for that we lost Happy, I guess. So we lost the dominator of the European region. We got the dominator of the American region. And to make things a little more positive, we got Moon for the first time in the W3Champions finals.
That's so exciting. That's so exciting. I know last season he said no, and people are like, but he was very clear. So it was a scheduling issue, and he wanted to. So you got Moon. What a big deal. What a big deal you are, Neo.
That was also very, very simple. He just asked a couple of questions. We answered that, gonna play, gonna be good. And man, this is super cool. I think the lineup is pretty good in general. I think I spoiled this for you now. The announcement is actually coming out tomorrow. But yeah, this is gonna be hype, man. Hitman and Moon in one tournament alongside the Foggies of the world, and we got Johnny Cage as well. And I'm super hyped for this.
Cool. Can we like nerd out on the nuts and bolts here, or like
we can nerd out on everything.
I know you're doing a 5-day schedule. Is that more to be player friendly or schedule friendly, or like what's the story there?
Both.
Like, what's the point?
I was really unhappy with the schedule last time because we had so many games at the same time, and this was mostly my mistake because I effed up the schedule, as I said before. Had a little bit of a whoopsie there, but in general, it's always cool to have community casts, I think, that cover the B stream. But for the tournament as a whole, it's the best to show all games of the tournament. We still allow every single one who wants to cast. We will provide a clean feed, so whoever wants to cast can grab the clean feed and run with it, brother. We just we might ask for some numbers afterwards, but so it's not like we want this monopoly on anything. If Jim wants to come up with a newbie stream, go ahead with a newbie stream. If Forks wants to cast in Portuguese, go ahead and run with it in Portuguese. But yeah, we have to bring all the games. Like, we missed out on so many games last time, unfortunately. The colorful games, the labyrinth games. I wanted to prevent that. And also, days were kind of long, and with 3 to 4 regions involved, that's always a mess, right? Because some players have to get up super early, some players have to stay up super late. I think it was like 5 a.m. in Korea at times. So with more days, obviously the days are a little shorter, and that means we can hit that small little golden timing window that is okay for all players.
That 30-minute window.
It's like a 4-hour window, I think, where the entire world is awake at the same time. So that was a big priority. And it's also more flexible if you have 5 days. With that, you can say, okay, player 1 to 4, you play on Saturday. Player 5 to 8, you play on Sunday. And then players don't have to show up for all 3 days, for example. Right. So I think it benefits everyone. It's just that the days aren't as long, but we get some little show elements planned to extend the days.
Are you ready to spoil those yet, or not yet?
Not yet. We're working on at least 2. Maybe in next week's episode I can't confirm. It's not 100% done yet. But I think it's a cool idea that gives showcase to cool communities. And I think it's gonna be good. I'm pretty happy with the finals so far.
Yeah, look, I mean, WGL, DreamHack. My favorite has always been the W3C finals. I just think it's the coolest, so I'm excited for you.
Yeah, I also think that, like, we improved quite a bit, quite some easy tasks, because we were able to focus on it. So we had the admin team with Duro and Nuhiro. I said, guys, we need to come up with the server solution. These guys were up and do the server solution and help me with the invites. So it's good for the players that they know more stuff in advance. It's good for the viewers that they know the days a lot in advance. And then we even came up in cooperation with W3Champions with some special perks for the donators.
Yeah.
And you were involved
Throw that
in
up on the screen, huh?
Oh,
those
yeah,
are so
baby.
Cool. I love the way those look.
So what we did, we always felt that, it's super cool that the community is contributing, and they did in masses, up to like $6,000 or something. But
shout out Governor.
Shout out Governor and all the others. But they never really got any perks except for the cool content, of course. But it's always more rewarding, especially for the low donation amounts, like let's say €5, 10 euros, that they get something for it. And we thought, hey, we have these W3Champions profiles. How about we create a special picture for the guys who contribute? And we were at first not sure if that's technically possible, but we did it. And now, whoopsie, that's the wrong screen. That's too zoomed in. But since this tournament, there we go. Since the tournament is around Halloween, we came up, or Riptide, that freaking god, came up with a Halloween pumpkin themed profile picture that everybody can get for just $5, I think it is. There's a W3Champions version, there's a Back2Warcraft version, and you can wear that on your W3Champions profile. That's a cool step towards a better monetization of the finals, I think.
It's really cool. I love the way it looks. And it seems like a lot of people are purchasing it so far.
I think we're around, we announced it 2 days ago, maybe? And we sold 20 to 25. And this was not even mentioned on stream yet. So it's just from social media.
Yeah.
And I think
all of it goes all straight to the prize pool. So
exactly.
Really cool.
Yeah. It's not going into our own pocket. Riptide didn't demand anything for it. So it goes straight to the prize pool. It doesn't matter if you buy the War3 Champions version or if you buy the Back2Warcraft version, all to the prize pool. And that's the cool, small little incentive that we gave.
Yeah. So go buy pumpkins, people.
Go buy pumpkins.
Forget buying a pumpkin to put on your porch. Like, buy a pumpkin, a digital pumpkin. Let's go.
Maybe I'll dress up for the finals for Halloween. We'll see.
Maybe you should make that an NFT. Sell it on the Ethereum marketplace.
Oh, dude, I'm so not into that, man. I have no idea how that works, but I guess this is the future, right?
I've been getting into like too many arguments online about the crypto / Bitcoin space, and I'm not doing it anymore. Like, people can think whatever they want about it. It's fine.
Yeah,
dropping the arguments is always it seems like the better way to go. With everything. To
me, it feels like the NFTs are kind of a reward for the whales, I guess, of the scene who want to dump in like $1,000, $2,000 for something. We kind of wanted to get the player base, to give something to the player base that every John Mayer in the world can afford and can wear on ladder. I think that's cool.
Yeah, the masses can handle $5.
Hopefully. So that's always the argument, right? Like, if all viewers at the same time would just donate $1, or if everybody who plays on War3 Champions would donate $1, then we would all be fine.
Yeah.
Doesn't work out that way.
It doesn't happen that way, though.
No, not really. But it's totally fine. Speaking of War3 Champions, I saw Safit on your Discord saying that financially, it looks a little better than compared to the season 7 finals.
Yeah, absolutely. I came on and begged for money, and right there was a huge bump in Patreons for sure. So just that probably got us there. And then a couple, as you say, whales, actually just one whale, came in. I think he wants to be anonymous, so I'll just not say his name. But came in and basically said like, hey, I want this to go, so let me give you a bit to cover. So, and our overhead costs, goes up and down because we switch in and out servers, but we're I think for the most part covered. It's nice to have a cushion, but we're covered. We're not super worried about it.
That's cool.
Which is really nice.
Yeah, man. Just, of course, we talked about this last time already, but that you don't have to pay for the community service you do is the least thing you would expect, and it's cool that the community listened to it. And I think at this point, shout out to the German Creep Camp community. There was at least one guy who had this agenda to rally the masses of the Creep Camp community to sub for the Patreon. And I guess a lot of people did.
Finger? How do you say that?
Yeah, dude, pretty spot on. Flutschfinger.
Yeah. He's in GNL too. I actually snagged him I'm pretty sure I snagged him for my GNL team.
Oh.
I'm almost positive that I did. I have to look at the teams. We haven't announced. That's a spoil too. Hopefully the teams will have already been announced by Friday. Yeah.
You know what a Flutschfinger is, by the way?
Oh, I'm assuming a finger is a finger.
A finger is a finger.
Is it fat finger?
No. It's a popsicle.
Ice finger or something.
Yeah, it looks like. Wait, can I pull it up? Yes, I can. Quality is horrible, but you'll get the idea. Boom, that's a Flutschfinger.
It's like something that feels very American right there.
Yeah, so shout out Flutschfinger for rallying the troops. And you also did something cool when the sad DreamHack announcement came out. I think you were one of the first responders saying, okay, this is bad news for the scene, but we got some good news for the scene, and that is that automated tournaments are finally coming.
Yeah, my guy Abe is on it now. So Gab was on it before and made really stellar progress. We had even run a PTR tournament, and it was close. But I think I'd said he's a real big deal in real life, and he got promoted. He's overseeing like 12 to 15 teams, so he's like in charge of 120 people, and that happened right as he was doing. So he had to go back to real life. So automated tournaments sort of went on the back burner. So, but now that Abe's on it, Abe will like spit out code in about 35 seconds. So I expect it it'll be there in a couple minutes, I would say.
Jeez. Okay, you said it's gonna be out until the end of the year.
Yeah, that's what Abe said.
Can you tell us a little bit like how it works, like what the general idea of automated tournaments are? Because I think not too many people remember the Battle.net automated tournaments, especially when they joined in the past 2 to 3 years.
Yeah. So the feel is to have the old Battle.net automated tournaments. And what that would be is you'd log in, and up at the UI, there would be up in the top corner of the screen saying like, there would be all manner of tournaments. So it could be 1v1 on Twisted Meadows only tournament coming up. Or there would be just regular tournament on the map pool coming up, all races. Or it'd be human only, or it'd be 2v2. So the purpose is to have a little bit of variety. So, we might have random hero maps. We might try out our new map on there. Or now this is crazy, but we might even try out like new patch maps on there, just to do a little balance testing. Now, let me be clear, because that's a huge topic.
Yep.
We're not saying that we're going to do community balancing, because actually I think that's quite a bad idea for us to do it. But we're happy to provide a breeding ground, a testing ground for patches, so that maybe the work has already been done for Blizzard. They can come in and just snap it up. But so people should submit if you think you have the best balance, make a patch. And if you're not an asshole, we'll probably like run it for you as an automated tournament. But I went a little bit off topic there. You go up in the top corner, it'll tell you, hey, there's this tournament happening, sign up. You click it and it says, okay, you can't queue now for the next 20 minutes because we're gathering our people. And then however many people come, it'll make a bracket for you. And there's a veto in screen, and it just makes the bracket and continues, and you go through the tournament and you get awards if you win, whether it's profile icons or wins towards a profile icon, or we can go crazy with it.
That's super dope. Yeah. So
the other hope is that people can make their own tournaments, so that they'll be able to...
let me stay on the topic before we go into that. So the biggest takeaway I got from organizing cups and of course casting cups is that not too many players sign up because there's so much time between games. You have to wait for so long until your opponent is ready. Yeah, of course you can queue for a ladder game, but then if your opponent is ready, you have to drop out. That's a loss on your ladder account. You don't really want that. It's very unreliable as well, because of course the match of your opponent could go for an hour or something. So how do automated tournaments deal with that, like waiting time in between games?
Well, it's still an open question whether to allow you to queue or not. My guess is that, because it's still being programmed, but I think probably you won't be allowed to queue while you're waiting. But I don't really know how you would, if your next opponent is still in their last game, like what can you do about that? I don't know if there's a silver bullet fix for that. Do you have a silver bullet fix for that?
I think how it worked back in the day was that it's basically like a little bubble system. So if you finish your match quickly, you come into a pool of players, and this pool is filled by people who finish their games quickly, and then they will be paired against each other.
So it's a adaptive bracket, if you will.
Yeah, exactly. Within a certain seeding, of course. So let's say Happy finishes his game in 5 minutes and Foggy finishes his game in 5 minutes 30. They won't be paired in round 2. That would be unfair, of course. There must be a certain seeding to it. But the original idea with these automated tournaments is that you get your games as quickly as possible and downtimes between games are as short as possible.
Yeah, certainly that's just a design, because you could make it everyone signs up and the bracket is made right at the beginning, or it could be, as you say, an adaptive bracket to prioritize speed of your next game. It's something to talk to Abe about, because Abe can do whatever. It's just what decisions do you make in the beginning? Yeah. So hop into hashtag suggestions, anyone who's listening to this, and tell them, do you want rigid structure or do you want adaptive matchmaking? And there's like tons of ways you can do it too. I mean, is everything going to be an open tournament where anyone can sign up and I could play happy if he did it? Or they're going to be in the next 20 minutes, it's 1,300 to 1,500 signups, which I think would be pretty cool. I would sign up for a 1,300 to 1,500 tournament. I probably might not sign up for a open. Well, I would, but I can see that people wouldn't sign up for an open tournament if anyone was in there. So it's still in the design stage. So if you want to have an impact on what automated tournaments looks like, then make your voice be heard. We listen to everything.
Yeah, man. And you can get, as you said already, get super creative with that, and can make a designated day for that or run one every day and be like experimental with it. So that's going to...
I'm sorry for interrupting you, but I sound like you're going to move to the next topic. Yeah. I glossed over one thing really quickly. So there are certain game modes that I think lend themselves really well to automated tournaments that are extremely popular. But if we made it an actual separate ladder, it might split the player base, or it might not have the amount of excitement to maintain it at all times.
Yeah.
And those types of really cool modes that would either split or not have enough are great for automated tournaments. So I talked about random hero maps. Apparently in Asia, random hero is the bomb until everyone came to W3C. Now everyone plays W3C, but before everyone was on Asia, or when they were still doing their own thing, like the biggest viewers were the random hero maps. So
yeah,
just make that a tournament.
Yeah, that's something that the big streamers are doing a lot, like TD, InfiTH, Fly. They run a lot of random stuff. So I guess it trickles down since the big players are doing it, and it's not as predictable as the regular one-on-one. The Chinese go crazy about that. So yeah, I definitely agree. It's amazing.
But also a game mode that is its own ladder right now, Frostcraft. It's a 4v4 kind of Dota clone, if you will. Maybe all people get mad at me for calling it Dota clone. It's a MOBA.
Yeah.
And I pushed it pretty hard on the season 7 keynote with you, and I was really excited about it. And it's a really cool game, and the map maker put so much work into it. And like, I wanted it to succeed because he's such a cool guy and because it's such a cool game mode. But I mean, if I went to, I can't multitask, but it's just not that it doesn't have enough of a player base to sustain. Mm-hmm. And so it hurts, but we're probably going to take it off the ladder because it like clutters up the UI, but it'd be perfect for an automated tournament because we know that there are people that are dedicated to it. Mm-hmm. So if they know, okay, this coming Thursday, let's get all our people there and we can get 10 games right in a row and it'll be really fun and it'll be a tournament. So it's a good way to boost up lesser games as well.
Yeah, really nice. So jumping to people can create their own tournaments. Tell me everything.
Well, this was one of my early ideas for monetization, which I've always been afraid of in the past because we didn't want Big Bad Blizzard on our backs. But, with Blizzard in the tumultuous state that it's in, and this is tied to your let everything be positive. With ESL letting go W3C, like it means it is negative, but it also means there's less of a light, which means we can do whatever we want. Mm-hmm. So let's make the scene whatever we want it to be. Mm-hmm. And I have not talked this over with the team. This is just my opinion. I haven't talked about with them recently. We talked about it ages ago. But the idea that you could, let's take monetization out of it, but say I want to create my own tournament and I get to set the parameter. So I'm a 1450 player, and I only want to play. So okay, I want to be a big boss. So I'm going to click, all right, 8-person tournament, max MMR, 1451. I don't like Concealed Hills, so the map pool is going to be just EI and Northern Isles. Click, boom, let's go. I have my own perfect tournament. Whoever wants to join, great. And it's there for people, like there would be maybe a custom game list with the custom tournaments and people can join their 1450 below NIS EI only tournament and we go from there. So It's not just us that set it up so you don't know what's coming. And of course we'd put a schedule so you would know it's coming, but if you don't like the schedule, you put your own tournament out there.
So you said you wanted to put monetization out of it, but I have to ask, because it's also a question coming from the community, from Mr. Kato, who is going crazy with support recently. So shout out Kato. He's been with us since the very, very beginning of our German casts. What a lovely, lovely fella.
Is that Sir Kato also?
Yes, that is
So
Sir
that's
Kato.
the dude who made the W3Champions.com website.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, he's a big baller.
He's an OG, that's for sure. So he's asking, is prize money distribution done automatically, or the creator of the tournament has to send the money to the winners? Is there going to be prize money for the self-created tournaments? Do you have any thought on that?
So I know Gab's vision was that the end season tournament could be made to be fully automated. And I think it could be. It is nice to have the human touch of Back2Warcraft overseeing things too. So I don't think it's strictly necessary, but it could be. So if that were the case, I think that's a question that has not yet been answered yet because we don't know. It's not made yet. But for the regular, just run-of-the-mill BattleNet tournaments or the W3C tournaments, there wouldn't be a prize pool. The winner, they would get glory and they would get non-monetary prizes, be it profile icons, wins, that kind of stuff. Could it be? So if it were to be money, and this, again, this is just, we haven't made plans for this. I don't know if it's going to happen. This is just ideas because as soon as you bring money into things, that's when people start caring, right? So we need to make sure that we're on full legal footing. But an idea would be, so say I make my my idea is like if you play poker, sit and go tournaments. You say, for example, everyone puts in $10. You say first place gets X%, second place gets Y%, third place gets their money back. The tournament organizer, aka W3C, gets a portion, maybe 50 cents of every person's $10. And so the monetization would be $5. We get $5, 50 cents from each person. And the rest of the prize pool is split between first, second, and third. And again, if it's an individual setting up the sit and go, they can set up the parameters about how the prize pool is paid off. Maybe they want a winner takes all tournament. Or W3C would put out presets. You know, you can have the $5 plus 50 cent entry fee, first, second, third payout. Or you can have the $10 50 cent entry fee, winner takes all. Like there would be those types of presets, assuming that we don't get in trouble for making money. But it's probably just a dream because I know as tumultuous as Blizzard is, I have heard that the one thing that they really don't like is gambling.
Yep.
So it's probably something that can't happen. But dude, people love to gamble. I mean, if it were possible, how easy would it be to make that money? If people could set up their own sit and go tournaments, they think they're going to win first prize, get 50%, and we get, $2 for setting up that tournament. How easy is that?
Yeah, that's true. But like, as you say, you open up a whole can of worms with like taxes and distribution and payouts, and it's really, 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 really complicated to get into. It's
probably impossible. Not impossible to do, but impossible to execute because of outside forces.
Yeah, maybe
it's an idea.
Like, an idea could be, I have no idea how that works coding-wise, for example, but let's say if you create a tournament on W3Champions, you automatically create a tournament on Matcherino, and then use Matcherino as a payout platform for these tournaments.
Yeah, that's a cool idea too.
But I have no idea if they have an API or what's necessary for that. Just the brain fart.
Yeah, and let me disclaim, not that anyone cares that's watching this, but I'm not speaking as the W3C team. I'm speaking as Floss, a dude who has no ability to execute any of this. Like, we're the idea guys here, and we have no plans to actually do this. I'm just talking out loud. So.
Yeah. It was just because people were asking. I had to, of course, forward this. But yeah, that's really cool, and I think it gives more incentive to players to sign up for tournaments. And once you joined your first or second tournament, you're not too afraid of it anymore. So there was a big discussion recently I had. How do you bridge the gap between, like, first of all, you have to make people sign up for the ladder, and I think you all did a great job with that. And then you get them into GNL, and the next step would be like playing in GNL, of course, where you have your team and you can rely on your team and you play a couple of competitive matches. And then but still the gap between playing GNL and playing a cup seems to be really, really hard for a lot of people. Mm-hmm. And these automated tournaments, especially with custom rules and custom MMR ranges, that could be that bridge, I think.
Yeah, I think people, once they get a taste of competition, they realize that no one's going to come into your house and chop off your head with an axe if you lose. It gets exciting. I played in one of the ESL weekly cups and played Soin in my very first match.
Dude, we cheered for you so hard. Yeah. That was the best match. I think it was casted by Carsten and OC Drummer. Discord was hype about it. Twitch chat was hype about it. And then you killed the freaking unit and people went crazy for you.
So did I, dude. I went nuts. I was very pleased with myself. I definitely dove my entire army, lost my MK2 and my AM3, but I got that shaman, so we're good.
Boom. Yeah, exactly. That's like, maybe you just have to set yourself small goals and then improve from there.
Yeah, but I remember you saying that in your last podcast, because I listen to every podcast religiously, that there is the gap between the GNL and the Rocket Beans and the Fountain of Manor, which is for the most part like 1800 and below, and then we need to get that next step because there's the high level competition. But what do we do for 1800 to 2200, and why aren't they playing? Yeah. And I think you said that leagues like this are the future more so than cups, because as we've seen, cups don't draw the numbers that we want, and it's content for that weekend, but it's not content for the year. So I agree. I know how popular GNL, Gym Newbie League is. Yeah. So to see how popular that is, why shouldn't that scale? Exactly, right?
And especially with like relegation in place, you can climb up the ranks.
Yeah.
And if you're not ready for the next step, then you stay in your league. I think that is the future indeed. So, are we done with W3Champions topics, or do you have anything else brewing that you want to talk about?
It's worthwhile to say that we want W3Champions to be feature complete. There's no timetable on it because the limiting factor is actually not money, it's time, which is why we're still working to be full-time so that we can do this. But to be feature complete, we want automated tournaments. We want a good AT versus RT mix system for 4v4, which some people are unhappy about, but we're going to do it right. So just trust us.
That's something that might be. How much time did it actually pass? I have no clue. 42 minutes. We didn't even talk about gym yet. Okay, then we have to postpone the 4-on-4 discussion for another
part. So ATRT mix, but done right. Automated tournaments, Abe's on that, ATRT Toxie's on that. And then the third thing, you had talked about getting people into ladder, and we've done a good job about it, but we can do better, is we'd like to have an unranked mode as well. And that's probably a whole topic about how to do that correct also.
Yeah.
So maybe we get into it later, but just so that everyone knows, to be feature complete, and then we go back and polish, but mixed ATRT, automated tournaments, unranked. Damn. Those are big developer roadmap plans.
What about achievements?
Like if you kill 100 units, you get some type of profile icon type of thing.
Yeah.
So the person who loves and wants that to happen is Monmoto. So it's something that we want to do and like to do. It's more just, do we have the time to do it? Okay. And there has to be, we have to triage. Okay. So maybe Monmoto works on the side. I'll remind him because I want achievements too. I want a killed Soin Shaman on my profile. So yeah, look, we want to do all these things, and they all are possible. It's just, kids and job first. So
for sure.
And we're working. The priority is to get this to be sustainable so that we can return to the passion project, which is W3 Champions.
Yeah, for sure. I just think that achievements is another thing that keeps people grinding because, it's in every single game right now, I guess. StarCraft has it. Every single game on the PlayStation has it, where you get your silver, gold, and platinum awards for finishing the game up to 100% or something. And getting relegated or promoted, I guess, into a new league is super rewarding, and you get that animation and stuff, and you see your new icon, and that's so cool. But it always takes some time, right? Especially the higher you climb, the longer it takes. And to have these little extra motivational steps for like winning 10 games in Adapt or whatever, super rewarding, keeps people playing, they're grinding for these achievements. So for the longevity of the game and the community, I think achievements are maybe underrated.
So let me empower the community. If you want that to happen, and I actually think it's a great idea, like anyone who thinks they have cool achievements, write them out, and then go into Paint and make a silly little icon, murdered a 1500 player, like and with a gun in a 1500 or something. Like drop that in suggestions. If we have a list of achievements, I don't know how hard it is to actually implement, but it's certainly easier once we have a huge list of achievements to add.
For sure. And that's something that the community can contribute to and come up with. It's like a hive mind thing. I think
it's got to be the community now, right? Just like you said, there's no reason. We've been here I've been here for 3 years, but we've been here for 17 years. We've survived this long. You say stay positive. I agree, man. I still think the game is in a very good spot, and we can rely on the community, which we know we've done before. Let's just keep it up. No problem.
This is okay. We wanted to dive into gym, but since we're on the topic, I feel this is the most important thing at the moment. Stay positive and spread positivity. This is the time for the silent majority to come out and just like content, comment on things, and leave some cool messages in Discord, because it's really frustrating. Like, as a organizer, caster, whatever, it's not the best time at the moment with DreamHack gone. So we try to do the best we can. You try to do the best you can. And a lot of comments are kind of negative. Like, I mentioned this CORSAIR example already earlier, when I thought it's such a big deal that we got Hitman, and then after 2 minutes, the conversation shifts to hot top streamers. And the same I had on Reddit. Like, we announced a couple of cool stuff, and then one of the comments was, I'm probably not playing, not worth watching. Like, guys, oh man, we put so much hours into this. Can't you just say, hey, I'm excited for this? Is it so hard to put 4 words down, to show a little bit of appreciation, to upvote anything, to like, to share something? Is it really that hard? This is once again the time where the silent majority has to come up, and I don't know if the Warcraft community understands social media algorithms. The more interaction there is with a post or content or video or whatever, the more people see it. The more people see it, the better it is for the algorithm, yada, yada, yada. It's just,
why don't you educate me as a social media dinosaur? Do I need to be, because I do watch Back to Warcraft videos. I'm pretty sure I'm subscribed. Pretty sure I'm a YouTube subscriber. But am I supposed to click thumbs up on every single thing?
Oh, yeah.
No matter what, should I go and make sure that I do the scroll tab all the way to the end so that it thinks that I've watched the entire, what should I do to make your numbers better? Twitter, YouTube, like literally educate me.
Okay.
I'm a social media dinosaur.
So how social media works, as far as I know, this is of course a simplified version, and there's a lot of nuances and details to it. And there's also a lot of guessing to it, because nobody knows the algorithm of a YouTube, of a Twitter. So first of all, interaction is key. So if you see something, hit the like button, comment on it, and share it, because the algorithm thinks, okay, this is interesting to a person. And the more interesting it is to a person, the more the algorithm wants to suggest it to other people, to reach out to other people. So interaction with content is absolute key. And it doesn't even matter if it's positive or negative in terms of YouTube, for example. It doesn't matter if it's a thumbs up or a thumbs down. It doesn't matter if the comment is positive or negative. The more interactions there are, the better it is, and the more recommendations this post gets to other people.
I pledge to like, comment, and share all your YouTube videos.
Like, comment, and share, man. It's such,
it takes 10 seconds.
At max, it's like 1 or 2 clicks or something.
After I get off with you, I will go do that. I pledge that to you.
It is such an influencer thing to do, and it sounds super silly if you always say it. Like, subscribe, and ring the bell, because then you get the notifications, and then you see it more. And But it works. It's just what works, and every influencer says it. So we are in the Warcraft 3 scene, are social media dinosaurs, and also YouTube dinosaurs. And with that, we'll always hang behind a StarCraft community, a MOBA community, or whatever. They will be more recommended than we get because of that. Because I totally get it. We're all old. We didn't grow up with the like button or the share button. And it doesn't even matter if you have a lot of followers yourself. If you share, that's good. And if you have 5 followers, it's still helpful. For YouTube, watching a lot and watching a big percentage of the video is very important. So watch time is crazy, especially since we have very long videos in general that go up to, like, I think the average like 40 minutes. And YouTube content is in general around 10 minutes to be easily digestible.
I'm going to open up a YouTube, one of your videos right now, and just have it playing in the background.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
I'm going to do that right now.
Just a lot of watch time is good. And if YouTube sees, hey, that person watched everything of that video, that must be good content, then it the chance to be recommended is again higher. So it's very complicated.
What I just did was really easy. I just have this in the background and it's playing right now, and I'm helping Back to Warcraft right now. Feels
exactly good. Just like
actually
that.
Pretty easy.
And if you can afford a high electronic bill, leave it up overnight. Just open a playlist with 100 videos and just let them have them play all the time. But yeah, that is the simplest thing people can do. But man, we wanted to talk about GNL because man, is there hype for GNL right now?
Yeah. Let me quickly, I'm sure people know, but GNL stands for Gym Newbie League. It is the league that we run in the Gym Discord, which you can find at gym.back2warcraft.com. It is a beginner-friendly, thank you, Neo, for the link. It's a beginner-friendly Discord where very strong players are there. Side, Todd, Qbert, they all hang out. But the Gym Newbie League has about a cap of 1750 MMR, and people sign up for it. The captains draft teams, but not really with the aim to win, but really with the aim to have fair and balanced teams. And then during the week, so this season we have 6 teams, 17 people per team, and 11 1v1 matches per week. And captains at the beginning of every week will hook up with the other captain and set a lineup of 11 matches. Again, not to win, but to have fair competitive matches. Players choose their own times during the week to make it happen. And you have a very competitive atmosphere. And we're in season, God, are we 8 or 9 now? We've done a ton of seasons now. And there's serious GNL brand loyalty, if you will. We do have new players. We have so many returning players. A lot of people say they only play Warcraft 3 for GNL because it's not even the competitive matches. It's during the week, hanging out with your own private team channel, getting in voice chat, and you got 10 people watching people play a 1v1, and then you go over and watch it. So that's starting. I think our first week of matches, we just did the draft. We have not announced teams yet. People are bugging us to announce the teams. We'll probably announce teams this week. And that means that Monday the 25th will be when GNL officially starts. That first week is for in-house, in-team games to get sort of the pecking order of your team.
Like
and then Monday, November,
I guess.
Yeah, and then Monday, November 1st, we will have our first match week.
Monday, November 1st, huh? That is shortly after the first weekend of War3 Champions. That means we might have some time and might do some broadcasts.
Yeah, you guys have been so wonderful.
Yeah.
You broadcasted GNL matches in the past. It's exciting to get, I mean, the viewer retention is pretty, there'll be matches cast between 200, 400, 600 people. So if you want your game cast in front of 600 people, come join GNL and cozy up to Neo and Floss. We'll get you on the big screen.
Yeah, I have this idea for the next season to get more coaches on as well, especially like if a player from a team is playing, then have that team's coach on to get the ins and outs of what was the problem of this specific player in the past couple of weeks, what did we talk about, and then see the progress of this said player already on the screen, that would be great. Like Qbert is just made for this. Cithrin, Kaiser, of course, a Todd and a Side as well. And whoever wants to join is, of course, always welcome. So I think
that's great content because it hits both the hardcore people in the scene who want the nuts and bolts, be like, this guy, he was doing 3 farm tech, but I told him versus this player versus orc, you know, you can get away with 2 farms, so you learn that kind of stuff. But what the masses care about is the human element. Yeah. So if we can even get video up there too, and you see Floochfinger and Qbert's telling him not only what he'd been doing wrong past week and what he's improved, but then you also see him, and you know, this is the 4th time that Floochfinger has met Newelts, and it's 2-2. So this is a huge match between the 2 of them. Yeah. It's great stuff, Neo. Great idea.
I think so too. We have a couple of weeks to figure out the ins and outs, but yeah, I think this is gonna be cool. The activity alone in GNL or around GNL is so crazy. Is there any stress on you now, because it's so many people at like 125, I think, was the sign up?
There is a huge team of people that work on GNL, and I have to be perfectly honest. I have receded. I'm a coach of a captain of a team. I don't really help. I have co-captains to help. I'm more of the schedule monkey. So I care about my team, and I like talk in GNL captain's tent. But the bulk of administration is by Baron, who is a 1700, 1800 level undead player, and he works really hard. He runs the Warcraft 3 gym Twitter. I think he shouts you out a lot. But he does the bulk of the admin, and there's a lot. Mantelo runs the spreadsheet, which is the kind of the nerves and skeleton of the whole thing. And Wantu made us a nice draft board. People step up, and there is a lot of admin done, and I do help in that. But whereas in seasons 1 through 4, where I was commissioner and like running the draft, I have luckily been able to delegate, or people have stepped up and done more work. So I actually don't do a whole lot. It kind of just runs, but there is a lot of work, and other people do it, that's how it should be. You know, it can't just be on your shoulders, Neo. You should be able to delegate. And then the community has to step up in these times. And at least with GNL, they absolutely have.
That's super. Yeah, that's super sick. As long as the grassroots are covered, that's good for us. Then we don't have to care about it. Or of course we care about it, but then
it's
we
happening,
don't.
Though.
Yeah. But then we don't have to come up with something ourselves, and we can focus on the pro games. And that's so cool to see it thrive. I mean, Jim was always a little bit in the shadows, and of course, a lot of people knew about Discord and stuff, but GNL was always there, but underappreciated is, I think, the word that I was looking for. And there's a lot more spotlight now to it, and a lot of people enjoy it, and it's the best thing to have, really, for the grassroots. So
yeah, you're too nice. You've been a big part of that, so let me thank you. I mean, you said. Oh, I'm sorry, I interrupt you. You told me to not interrupt. I'm a bad broadcast.
I know you're not. You're the best guest I have. But when I saw that it's like 100 people, and then there were even 125, that made me so freaking happy for you guys.
Yeah. The only thing that's bad about it is we have to waitlist people, and we feel bad that people want to join and can't. So maybe next season, more captains and more teams.
Hopefully. So I guess that's our list of topics, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we could talk about everything, but this is getting long.
Yeah. So I think
and the YouTube comment, we talked about this in private, but like the last time I came on, all the YouTube comments were so nice, and then one person was like, "You need a new guest next time," and that's the one that stabbed me in the heart. So for that guy, let's hurry up a little bit.
Sir Kato, okay, we have a little bit of a Q&A here, of course. If you're a Patreon of the Back to Warcraft page, if you're part of the Back to Warcraft Patreon, then you can answer or ask for questions here that I can either answer myself or ask my guest about. So Sir Kato was asking already about the prize money distribution, but since we saw the launch of Diablo 2 Resurrected, or whatever it's called, and that launch didn't go too well, can we expect the Diablo 2 champions anytime soon?
Hilarious question. So I didn't know D2 didn't do well because you know what's funny is Abe, Sethid, and Toxie are all like our internal D-Spol Warcraft 3 Matchbox Discord. They're obsessed with D2 right now. And they joke about the death of W3 Champions is the fact that they started to play D2. So it's surprising to me that D2 hasn't done well because I swear these guys are there. I mean, Toxie's playing like 10 hours a day on this thing. Like he is going crazy.
I start to think that Toxie is a little different than other people and his day has more hours than mine because he's doing freaking everything. He is apparently working. He's playing Warcraft, he's playing Diablo, he's doing all the server stuff, he's doing the proxy stuff, he's helping me out with the server table for the finals. He's also always in Twitch chat. Maybe he cloned himself or something. I have no idea. Toxie deserves to be in the Hall of Fame of people.
He must do it all at the same time. Like when he's helping with server tables, he's so probably crazy. Also playing D2 at the same time.
It's so freaking crazy what this guy is
doing.
But
to give a serious answer, I mean, obviously not. Like we're focused on W3 Champions, and outside of W3 Champions, our focus is to make Matchbox a full-time job so we can drop our real jobs so that we can do Matchbox and thus W3 Champions.
So that's the question from Nether coming in. Without giving away anything you shouldn't, are you planning on pitching the project that you just mentioned, the project to developers looking to outsource the structure of their competitive ecosystem, or do you anticipate work coming from community crowdsourcing for older, undersupported games a la Warcraft 3? That's, of course, related to the Matchbox project that is supposed to bring the W3 Champions experience to other games.
Right. So Matchbox is our outside of Warcraft 3, W3 Champions. That's the team. And the product is a platform where the game developer, it's marketed towards game developers. Game developers worry about making their game. We take care of everything else. We give them the matchmaking services, the back end, the server, the routes to have good global competitive matchmaking, all that kind of stuff. That's the product. We have that product. Of course, we still need to work on it. So now it's what needs to happen now is funding and clients and scaling. And we're working on all three of those things at the same time and having, success, but it is still early. So we look for clients, we look for funding, and the scaling is what he's talking about. Do we outsource this to developers? We don't expect it to be, crowdfunded because this is a business. So when we scale as we need, we will hire people. Who does that come from? We think we've seen a lot of competent people in the Warcraft 3 scene. So when we need you, we put a job posting, come and, why do it for free when we can pay you? So let's see.
Sign up to the newsletter on matchbox.gg if it's working now.
Yeah, it's working now, according to Sethid. And we should, what the community can do to help us is you always need to look for money, right? You always need to look for clients. So if you have leads for that, if you know investors or you are yourself an investor, or this brand new RTS game's coming up that needs matchmaking and you're friends with the lead developer on them, put them in touch with us because we're talking to anyone and everyone right now.
Yeah, I would CC that for maybe possible future Warcraft tournaments if you guys know a lead here and there. But that would be awesome. I wish you all the best, Floss. That was a great second episode, I think, and a lot more structured than the first one.
Yeah, well, you taught me. Big guy.
Floss, is there anything else you want to share with the world? Otherwise, I'll let you go and thank you for your time.
Everything is about end season tournament. So be there. Our first is it October 30th?
Yeah.
October 30th. I'll be there.
Wonderful. Yeah. Saturday and Sunday, October 30 and 31st. And then the playoffs from November 5 to 7. Floss, thank you so much for your time. I know you're a busy man. Have a wonderful rest of your day, mate.
Love you, dude. Peace.
Now that Floss is gone, of course, thank you very much for tuning in to episode 30. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope we could give you a couple of positive thoughts for the future of the Warcraft 3 community. And of course, it is super important to support your favorite content creators. And whatever supports Warcraft, right? I'm not too sure if W3 Champions counts as content creators, but it's very important to support them on W3Champions.com. There are several opportunities to do that via PayPal donations, via Patreon, and of course cryptocurrency as well. So every support towards the W3Champions team is very much appreciated. And as I said last time, financially, it's not the greatest time to be back to Warcraft, thanks to DreamHack not continuing in 2022. So if you want to support us as well, that is much appreciated. We got a subpage called Back2Warcraft.com/support, where you can support us financially via Patreon, via Twitch sub, via single donations, via cryptocurrency. You can buy our merchandise, and it's of course super important to support CORSAIR as well. If you're looking for new hardware, then CORSAIR is the manufacturer for you. It doesn't matter if it's mouse, keyboard, headsets, if it's the Elgato sub-brand, also microphones and streaming gear, green screens, lights, desktop PCs. They have literally everything you need for a desktop PC environment, and it is really important to for us if you guys buy CORSAIR gear via our link. It's also featured in the support section of our homepage. But of course, if you want to support us non-financially, then please follow us on our socials, like our content, share our content, react to our content in any sort of form with a comment, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on what we produce here, whether it's on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, on Google Podcasts, on Deezer. It doesn't matter, wherever you are. Every single bit of support is appreciated so we can continue to do what we do in 2022. We see each other next time with episode 31 with a new guest and hopefully a lot more topics. Hope you enjoyed it. See you then.